Hi, this is Randy, and we're continuing on with patching ESXi. In the first part of the video, or the first video in patching, we looked at an article that we're going to use, and we looked at downloading the patch and moving it up to data store. Put it in data store 1. Let's just go look and see that it's there. So there's that patch directory we created, and there's the patch itself. Now, to continue on, what we need to do is we need to enable SSH. And the way that we do that is we go over here to Manage, and we go to Services, and we scroll down to, there it is, to SSH. We can go ahead and start it. Let's look at the policies. The policy currently says start and stop manually, and that's what I like. I want that. I don't want to run SSH other than when I decide I need to. I just don't want to leave it running. I don't want to leave that vulnerability open if I'm not using SSH. So I'm going to stick with that, but I'm going to go ahead and start it, and so it now should be running. Yep, it says it's running. So I bring over my SSH client, which I'm using PuTTY, and I put in my address. Depending upon where you are, like if you're a student, the address you would put in here, if you're off campus, if you're from home and coming in on the internet, you would put your 198 address in here. In fact, the machine I'm at is probably the only one that would use the 172. We've got a Windows machine in the lab, but all the rest of us are going to be working in other locations. And so this would likely be your 198. See if I've got the drawing up here. It would be the IPv4 address that you use from the internet to connect to it. So, all right. Okay, let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, let's let you see what I'm seeing here. Let's move this stuff over. Got the first time you PuTTY into or SSH into a device from a new host, it wants you to accept an encryption key. So we go ahead and accept that. And then here I've got my command line window, and I'm going to go ahead and log in as root. I goofed up my password. Okay, so there we go. So from there, what we need to do then is we just need to run this executable, and the executable fell short. I haven't added, the last part is the actual zip file, but this I got out of the article, and it's just the syntax. So here's the command we're going to run, and then here's the path. As we mentioned, if you move it to a different data store, a different directory name, you would just modify this. Now I know the patch starts with the letter E, so I'm going to hit E in the tab key and see if it'll find it, and it did. So I'm going to go ahead and execute that. So, okay, I didn't pause the video just so you could get a sense about how long it takes. I know some dead space there, but it's now completed. If I was to get a bigger SSH window, we could just see more of what happened, but it is done. So what I need to do now is I'll go ahead and close my SSH window, is I need to reboot the host. Remember, we checked earlier, we looked at the version number, and what we're looking for is we're looking for these to increment to go to the latest build. So let's go ahead and reboot it. And I'll go ahead once I start the reboot here and pause the video. Alright, so our server's rebooted. It took a little bit longer than normal, I guess because it was applying the patch, but not that long, not like 5 minutes or anything. It just took a couple minutes. And so what we want to do now to verify that the patch applied is we go over here to help and we go to about, and we just look at our numbers and compare them to what we had. And it looks like the top number stayed the same, 4516221, but the bottom number incremented significantly. Our old number was 4887370, and this new number is significantly higher. So we're good. We got our patch applied. One thing that I was trying to find earlier in the video was what IP address you're going to use for SSH, and it's probably obvious to you, but I used a 172 address because I'm actually in the lab. I'm on that same network doing my testing and videos. In fact, I can just look over and see my server screen. But for most of you, you'll either be in one of our other labs, or like Lab G, or you'll be at home doing this. And so you would come in under your 198 address through SSH. I believe either one of them would work. But I think we have it set up for both IPv4 and IPv6 through our firewall, and we have SSH enabled through the firewall to get into the lab. So I just wanted to point that out. It'd be your 198, 187, 236 address. All right, so we've built a server, we've patched it, we've created virtual switches, we've set a time reference, we've put in static IP addresses, we've created a user account for ourselves. Done a bunch of stuff. I think we're ready to start building virtuals. So I'll go ahead and wrap up this video.